rest on the Sabbath. In the Quran, the story of the Sabbath is mentioned, and how the chosen people of Allah, yes, they were chosen. The Quran says they were chosen. These chosen people of Allah, they broke the covenant they had with Allah by doing what? By doing certain things they were not allowed to do on the Sabbath. We all know what the Sabbath is all about, right? The Sabbath is a sacred day. Things are not supposed to happen on that day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told them that you're not allowed to fish on this day or work for your sustenance on this day. What did they do? It was so hard. Now those of you who are in fishing, you'll know what I'm talking about. I grew up fishing when I was a kid. When the fish is there in the water looking at you, you just gotta hook that thing. Like it's hard to pass up on that. So they're seeing that the fish in this river, stream, or whatever it is, on the Sabbath, for some reason there's more fish there. And they want to get their hands on these fish too. You see, we gotta be careful about the greed. And we have to have a little bit of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our sustenance. Okay, He told me not to fish on this day. I'll put my trust in Him. I won't fish because He said so. He's the one taking care of my sustenance. I have to do my part. But if He's telling me I don't want you to do anything on that day, I'm not supposed to. So what they did was, they found a way out of it. They found a loophole. A loophole that is not justified, of course. Sometimes Islam itself will introduce a loophole to something. Fine, you take it. But sometimes even the loopholes are forbidden. In some cases, that's the case. So they did a trick to get these fish to get caught in some bank or something that they made on the Sabbath, so that they can take those fish out like at night or the next day maybe. So they broke God's command and that covenant they had with Allah. They broke the Sabbath. The Sabbath had sanctity. They broke it. So what happens is, the Imam here, he's saying they are going to transgress when it comes to me the same way the Jews of the Prophet's time, they transgressed on the Sabbath. Now that over there, Allah talks about severe punishments that befell these individuals who broke this covenant of the Sabbath. Here the Imam is saying the same way they disrespected that day, they're going to disrespect me and my status as well. O son of Zubayr, to me being buried next to the Euphrates is more beloved than being buried next to the Kaaba. This is the lesson we're going to take from this sermon of the Imam, or this saying of the Imam. To me, being buried next to the Euphrates is more important, is more beloved than being buried next to the Kaaba. What's going on? I thought it was everyone's wish and dream to be buried there. Yeah, of course, it's good to be buried there if you can. But if you have to choose, and one of these places of being buried entails the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course that's going to be more beloved. Imam Hussein sees that the satisfaction of Allah lies in being buried next to the Euphrates. Why? Because he has to be killed next to the Euphrates. So some people, all their life, like they're sinning, and then when he's dying or she's dying, because they're all wealthy and stuff, they like try to make sure that they buy a grave like in Imam Rida's shrine, for example. You don't have to spend all that money for the grave, brothers and sisters. Or they want to make sure that they get their hands on a special kafan, which is good. We should all try to do that. But I'm just saying it's not going to compensate if we're lacking in our actions. They try to get their hands on a special kafan to make sure that like when these angels come to question them, they see the kafan, that special kafan, and they're like, you know, kafan means shroud. And when they see that, they're like, okay, back off, guys. This is a special kafan. There is no such thing. We don't have such a thing. There, your actions stay with you. Let me relate a hadith to you. That when we die, there's a hadith that says, when one dies, their wealth comes before their eyes. It's like it's embodied in front of them. They see it. That person says, I spent my life for you, O wealth, to accumulate you, to collect you. What are you going to do for me now that I'm leaving this world? I spent years upon years putting you together, but now, what can you do for me? What does the wealth say? The wealth says we can buy you a shroud. What else? You can't take anything else with you. His children. Now back then, children were assets. Now there's something else. Back then they were assets. The children that he had, They come before him. They're embodied before him. O children of mine, I did everything for you. What can you do for me? They say, we can carry you to your grave. And then his actions come. He sees his actions, and then the actions tell him, hey, your wealth left you, your kids left you, I'm going to be with you forever. You take with you your actions. And if those actions, through them you were pursuing the satisfaction of Allah, that's going to help you. It doesn't matter where you're buried. It doesn't matter what type of kafan you have necessarily. No. It doesn't matter if you never even performed Hajj in your life. Ayatollah Marahashi Najafi, they say he never ever went on Hajj. Subhanallah. I don't have time to talk about him and how great he was and his services to Tashayyu till today. Don't have time to talk about it. But this man had never gone on Hajj. And then some people go on 20 Hajj. Don't get me wrong, Imam al-Hasan also went on so many Hajj. But what the active ingredient, number one on the list that the angels will look at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at, okay, let me see the actions first. Then the rest might do something. The Imam says, O son of Zubair, to me being buried next to the Euphrates is more beloved than being buried next to the Kaaba. To Zubair, brothers and sisters, to this Ibn Zubair, there is nothing more beloved than what the Imam just said. He gets so happy when the Imam tells him this, that I'm going to leave Mecca no matter what. You know why? Because now Mecca is going to be devoid of any other figures. He's going to be the only one in Mecca now. Abdullah bin Zubair. The Imam is leaving Mecca. Good, there's a vacuum now. If the Imam had stayed in Mecca, Ibn Zubair would have been nothing. The son of Zubair would have been nothing compared to the Imam. The Imam tells him, I'm leaving. You can tell deep down inside, Abdullah bin Zubair is smiling. Now, who is this Abdullah bin Zubair, brothers and sisters? Abdullah bin Zubair is the son of Zubair. Who is Zubair? One of the greatest companions of our Prophet. That of course the Shia school has issues with, very obviously. Because he fought against the Khalifatul Muslimin. Brothers and sisters, the Battle of Jamal was a big problem. Why? Because Battle of Jamal taught everybody, pay attention to this. Battle of Jamal taught everybody that, hey, it's okay to fight the Khalifa of your time. We're not talking about Imam, we're talking Khalifa. You can, it's okay to fight the Khalifa of your time. Before that, no one dared stand up against the first, second, third Khalifa. Towards the end of the third Khalifa's life, they surrounded him and they eventually assassinated him. That wasn't a battle and war though. And he had messed up so much. Even Salafis, I see them saying this online, that yeah, the second 6 years of Uthman's rule was problematic. But going in an all-out battle and war against the legitimate Khalifa, not Imam, Khalifa, that is not something that the Muslim Ummah is familiar with, such a concept. No. They don't even know what that means. But when the Battle of Jamal took place, everyone's like, oh, so we can fight against the Khalifa of our time. You think, brothers and sisters, Muawiyah, a person who had become Muslim by force, when the Prophet came and conquered Mecca, according to one of the opinions in this regard, think Muawiyah was up to par in caliber with people like Zubair and Talha? No. They were companions way before he became a companion. But Muawiyah now, once the Battle of Jamal takes place, Muawiyah and others are like, oh, so we can also fight in the Battle of Siffin, and we'll just say we have a disagreement. Who cares about your disagreement? You're not allowed to fight the Khalifa of your time. No. The Battle of Jamal took place. We can. We learned that we can. Subhanallah. That's why the Battle of Jamal has so much significance in Islamic history. It does. Anyway, one of the main people involved is Zubair. Now Zubair, though, the cousin of Amirul Mu'mineen, has a son by the name of Abdullah. Let's talk about Abdullah. This Abdullah that now is contemporary of Imam Hussein and is going to stay in Mecca until Imam Hussein leaves, and he's going to be there after Imam Hussein becomes Shaheed. Ibn Zubayr, this son of Zubayr, has a very dark report card. Number one, in the Battle of Jamal, as Aisha was making her way towards Basra, where the Battle of Jamal is going to take place, they're passing by a land called Hawab. They're passing by a land called Hawab. Aisha, they say, remembers a hadith by the Prophet that when you hear the barking of the dogs of Hawab, make sure you return to where you came from. So she hears dogs barking. She asks, what is this place's name? They say Hawab. She says, take me back. Why? I heard the Prophet say that when such a thing happens, you're on the wrong side. Go back. Who is the one to convince her? Man. Who is the one to convince her that no, this is not Hawab? After they told her it's Hawab, he convinced her. And by the way, she was his aunt. Aisha was the aunt from mother's side of Abdullah bin Zubayr. Abdullah bin Zubayr goes to his aunt and swears, by Allah, this is not the land of Hawab. What are you talking about? Keep on going on this journey. Wow. That itself destroys the report card of this individual. That you did such a thing so that, and the Battle of Jamal took place. If Aisha had gone back, it wouldn't have happened. The Battle of Jamal is very unlikely that it would happen. Number one. Number two, even when the Battle of Jamal is taking place, as they line up, the two sides line up face to face, they say Imam Ali came up to Talha and Zubayr with his horse, on his horse, mounted. And they came up with their horses. And the narration and the account says this, that they got so close that the ears of each of their horses were like adjacent to each other. That's how close they got. So they're talking to each other now. Amir al-Mu'mineen starts reminding them of what's going on. What are you doing? The Prophet said this. The Prophet said that. He reminds Zubayr of a hadith the Prophet said about this day, that you better be careful. And as a matter of fact, Zubayr says, I'm going to go back. I'm not going to fight. Wow. Awesome. So the Battle of Jamal didn't take place, right? No. Who was there to save the day? Abdullah bin Zubayr. The son of Zubayr comes back to his father. He says, Father, are you going to get scared? Really? And pushes, instigates, so that this battle takes place. Eventually Zubayr is killed. They say even then he kind of didn't want to fight and he left, but he was eventually killed. And Amir al-Mu'mineen was upset that he got killed. And look at this hadith in Nahjul Balagha. It says, مَا زَالَ الزُّبَيْرْ مِنَّا أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. Zubayr was one of us, the Ahlul Bayt. حَتَّى نَشَأَ إِبْنُهُ الْمَشْؤُومَ Abdullah, until his son, his cursed son, Mash'um, grew up. The son messed up his father. Zubayr is killed. And they say that Imam Ali, we have wept because of that. Because Zubayr was there when they attacked Fatima Zahra's home. He was one of the ones in the home of Fatima, objecting to the illegitimate Khilafah. Subhanallah, there's so many lessons. This is Ibn Zubayr, the son of Zubayr. This is his report card. After Imam Hussein leaves, this Ibn Zubayr stays in Mecca so long. Then the Khilafah and the Caliphate goes from the hands of Bani Sufyan all the way to the sons of Bani Marwan. Eventually, during the time of, I think, Hisham ibn Abdul Malik, they attack Mecca. A lot of people had given bay'ah to Abdullah bin Zubayr. But who's the Khalifa? One of the sons of Marwan is Khalifa now. But Ibn Zubayr says, no, I'm Khalifa. So now the war happens. This is where, brothers and sisters, the Kaaba was destroyed. The troops, the soldiers of the army of Sham come and they attack the Kaaba because he was hiding there. He's hiding in the precincts of the Kaaba. And they destroyed it, set it ablaze. Those of you who've seen the movie of Mukhtar, this part is famous. That the Kaaba is set ablaze, it's destroyed. And eventually this Abdullah bin Zubayr is killed. What happened? Imam Hussein told them, I don't want to be that ram or that person that because of him the sanctity of the Kaaba is destroyed. Wow. So if you want to identify what Amir al-Mu'mineen was talking about when he told Imam Hussein someone is going to break the sanctity of the Kaaba, if you want to identify who it is, apparently it's Abdullah bin Zubayr. So now Abdullah bin Zubayr is speaking to the Imam gives him this as the response. What's interesting though, and I'm still trying to figure out myself, is that after all of that, still Imam Hussein even speaks to this guy. I don't know, maybe Allah wants these people to have no excuse and on the day of judgment, maybe. That Imam Hussein still speaks to this guy. That's one. Two, maybe, I don't know, maybe the Battle of Jamal took place. Some people didn't know which side to be on. Even in the Battle of Jamal, Amirul Mu'mineen, all of the prisoners that he had taken, he said, let them all go. Because it was hard to decide which side to be on. You have all of these big shots on one side and a lot of big shots on the other side. Both sides have huge sahabis. The Imam understood this, Imam Ali, that okay, people might have been confused. Let them all go. Let them go. He did that. They don't usually tell us this part of it. That Imam Ali let all the prisoners go. Maybe Imam Hussein felt like this guy still might have been confused. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's interesting how the Imam still speaks to this guy. Now if you remember, before I related a part of a hadith to you, just one, like a few words of it. I want to complete it now. Now's the time. Because I said when I get to Abdullah bin Zubayr, I'll talk about it. The hadith, we recited a few words of it when we were talking about the son of the second Khalifa, Abdullah ibn Umar. There we said that Abdullah bin Umar, he let the Imam go. He didn't help the Imam, but he wept and he said, oh Imam Hussein, I'm so upset that you're leaving. Oh Imam Hussein, the Prophet has said you'll be killed. I'm so upset for you. All of that, right? And then we talked about how he had not given bay'ah to Imam Ali in his time, the son of the second Khalifa, but he gave his bay'ah to Muawiyah, to Yazid even, and to others after Yazid. We talked about all of that. And then this is the part that I read for you, that Muawiyah had told Yazid that don't worry about Abdullah bin Umar. He likes you. He's on your side. Stick with him. I want to read the whole thing now, because Muawiyah talks about three individuals to Yazid in this narration that's in Al-Amali of As-Saduq. The book of Al-Amali of As-Saduq, one of the most authentic books that we have. I like mentioning the names of these books. Inshallah, you hear these names more. As-Saduq is one of the greatest of all time. That we have, most of our hadiths come from him, as a matter of fact. He says, in his book, he says that Muawiyah was sitting with his son Yazid and he's speaking to him, telling him, yeah, I took care of everything for you. I subjugated everyone. Everyone's neck is bent down for you, Yazid, now. I did all I could to make sure that you take this hukuma, you take this rulership and you have it after me. That's what we're after. Bani Umayyah, that's what they're after. إني أخشى عليك من ثلاثة نفر يخالفون عليك بجهدهم or بجهدهم. I'm afraid of three people that might go against giving bay'ah to you after me, or against being with you. Who are they? وهم عبد الله بن عمر بن خطاب, Abdullah bin Zubayr, Hussein ibn Ali. فأما عبد الله بن عمر, as for Abdullah bin Umar, and this is the part I read before, فهو معك فالزمه ولا تدعه. Stay with him, be cool with him, you know? Because why? فهو معك, his heart's with you, he likes you. But did Yazid do that? What a Yazid was, you know? Right? That's like a diss. What a Yazid you are, you know? What a Yazid was Yazid. Why? Because his father is telling him, don't mess with Abdullah bin Umar. Don't ask him for bay'ah. He's with you. Don't worry. But he still says, no. Once Muawiyah dies, Yazid writes a letter, I want to make sure, give me his bay'ah. It's Yazid's fault. Yazid messed up. Alright, that's one. Messed up. Number two. أما عبد الله بن زبير فقطعه إن ظفرت به إربا إربا. If you get your hands on Abdullah bin Zubayr, cut him to pieces. Whoa. فإنه يجتو لك كما يجتو الأسد لفريسته. Like a lion, he'll pounce on you and hunt you like prey, and trick you like a fox. That's how Abdullah bin Zubayr is. I don't know how many of us, a majority of us has probably seen that movie of Mukhtar, right? You've seen how Abdullah bin Zubayr is portrayed in it? Kind of like that. The guy was smart. Muawiyah knows that. He tells his son, take care of him. Did Yazid do that or not? He didn't touch him. Zubayr sat there and did what he wanted to do in Mecca. Just kept collecting bay'ahs for himself. وَأَمَّا الْحُسَيْنِ As for Hussein, فَقَدْ عَرَفْتَ حَظَّهُ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ You know that he has a share of Rasulullah with him. In other words, he comes from Rasulullah's family. He has credibility from there. Don't mess with him. وَهُوَ مِنْ لَحْمِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ He is of the flesh of Rasulullah. So on Ashura, when they are killing Imam Hussein and putting their swords and spears in the body of Hussein, it's the flesh of Rasulullah they're doing this to. Even the enemy acknowledges that. لحم رسول الله ودمه The blood and flesh of Rasulullah is in Hussein. وقد علمت لا محالة أن أهل العراق سيخرجونه إليهم According to this account, Muawiyah says, I know that they're going to pull him towards them, the people of Iraq. That's exactly what happened. Muawiyah, man, hats off to Muawiyah. Who else can stand up to Amir al-Mu'mineen? You have to be real good at what you do to be able to stand up against Amir al-Mu'mineen. This guy, subhanallah. He says, I know that the people of Iraq are going to have him come towards them. ثُمَّ يَخْذُلُونَهُ But they'll give up on him. They'll betray him. وَيُضَيِّعُونَهُ Get rid of him. فَإِنْ ظَفِرْتَ بِهِ Okay, so now if you get your hands on Hussein. So he talked about Abdullah bin Umar, talked about Abdullah bin Zubayr. Says if you get your hands on Imam Hussein, فَعْرِفْ حَقَّهُ Acknowledge his right. وَمَنْزِلَتَهُ His station, his rank. Acknowledge it. مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ That he gets from the Prophet. And don't hold him responsible for whatever he's done maybe. Don't hold him accountable. Don't punish him or whatever. Get him back for anything he might have done. Yeah, he might be harsh. But don't be fooled. Don't be dumb. Make sure that you're still good with him. That's how I did it. To the extent that, brothers and sisters, some of our Sunni brothers and sisters out there, usually I'll see Salafis saying this, of course. When you talk about Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, and the cursing of Amir al-Mu'mineen on the mimbars during Muawiyah's time and his rule, when you talk about that, they say, how could there such a thing be? Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, they were going to Sham every year and Muawiyah was giving them many, many gifts and they loved each other so much. That's how Muawiyah does it. That till today people believe this stuff. It's in the books. It's in the books. It's hard when it comes to arguing and debating when you have books involved. It's hard because you have these things in those books. Muawiyah knows how to play the game. He's telling his son, acknowledge this, respect him, etc. Even if he does something wrong, don't punish him, don't hold him accountable. And he goes on to talk about other things. Alright, so how many of these did Yazid do? 0. Number 1, Abdullah bin Umar. Did he let Abdullah bin Umar go? No, he said, give me bay'ah. Abdullah bin Zubayr, did he get his hands on him and destroy him? No. And what did he do with Hussein? The only thing that Muawiyah even had said don't do, which is to disrespect, let alone kill Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Recite salawat. Bismillah. As Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he wants to leave Mecca. It's very close to him leaving now. If you remember a few nights ago, I said his brother had traveled towards Mecca with some of the Bani Hashim. The Imam had written from Mecca to the Bani Hashim in Medina. He said, hey, anyone who comes and joins me will be victorious and will become shaheed. Anyone who doesn't join me will never ever taste and experience victory. So as I said back then, some of the Bani Hashim along with Muhammad bin Hanafiya came. Muhammad bin Hanafiya, I don't have it explained to who he is, right? The brother of Imam Hussein. From the same father and different mother. He came with the Bani Hashim to Mecca. Now he's going to try once again to not let Imam Hussein go. But we want to get something out of this as well. He comes to him and tells him and urges that please, now that you're leaving Mecca, go to Yemen. We have so many followers in Yemen. Go to Yemen. What does the Imam say? He says, I'll think about your suggestion. I'll think about your suggestion. So this happens maybe in the afternoon, at night, I don't know. Because the narration goes on to say, the next day, the Imam set out for Iraq. And Muhammad bin Hanafiya comes and takes the reins of the Imam's horse. And said, didn't you say last night that you're going to consider my suggestion? that you'll consider you going to Yemen? He says, yes, I did. I considered what you said. Bala, yes, I did. ولكن بعدما فارقتك أتاني رسول الله وقال يا حسين اخرج فإن الله تعالى شاء أن يراك قتيلا وقد شاء الله أن يراهن سبايا. Says, yes, I did consider what you said. But after I parted from you, the Prophet came to my dream and ordered, O Hussein, move towards Iraq. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed, has wished to see you killed. One. And this Muhammad bin Hanafiya says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But why, O Hussein, are you taking the women and the children? And then the Imam responds, وَقَدْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَرَاهُنَّ سَبَايَا. Allah wants to see them taken as prisoner. We covered this already last night. Because he said this to someone else as well. He said this to Ibn Abbas. The ones who really cared for the Imam, they also cared for the women and children of the Imam. They told the Imam, don't take your women and children at least. But little did they know, this is all part of a bigger plan that Allah has set. So Allah is Imam Hussein, this is not my plan, this is Allah's plan. Allah wants to see them. And once again, I've said this and I'll say it again for those who this might be their first night coming, or they missed the nights we covered this. The fact that Allah wants to see this happen is not because Allah likes this to happen. No. But the responsibility of Imam Hussein right now is to get in the way of Bani Umayyah, or else Islam is going to be hit hard. Imam Hussein, your responsibility, and the only way you can carry out the responsibility to get rid of Bani Umayyah is that you are killed, one, and two, your wife and children, your wives and children and sisters and all of that, they all go to Sham without you, and in Sham they'll cause the damage by exposing, by speaking out when everyone is there, before Yazid and in the presence of Yazid. This was the plan. So that's why he keeps saying this again and again. He says Allah wants to see them taken as prisoner. But this doesn't mean, guys, that Allah wants as if He likes this. There's no other choice. There's no other choice. Let me give you an example. Someone is drowning and salat time, you don't have enough time to pray. And this never happens, right? This never happens, we're just theoretically speaking. Salat time is becoming qada. I'm about to miss my salat, but someone's drowning. I have to pick one of the two. Just an example. Alright, so what does Allah want here for me now? To do my salat or to save someone's life? Of course, save like this moment's life. Allah wants this. Okay, so can someone say, alright, He wants this, so that means He doesn't want me to pray. No. Now the situation dictates that you pray. If you pray, the guy dies. No, to go and save that person. That's what it is. Oh, Allah wants this. That means that, look at Allah. You know, He doesn't want prayer. No, He wanted the prayer. But now the situation in this material world we live in, which is governed by cause and effect, now the situation is like this. So now this is your responsibility. Same thing here. Imam Hussein, of course Allah doesn't want it to be like this. Imam Hussein doesn't want it to be like this, but there's no other choice. Recite another salawat, please. And this is where the Imam actually sets out from Mecca now. He sets out from Mecca and he comes and he runs into a person by the name of Farazdaq, a famous poet. Famous because he is known for his poetry for the Imams. It's interesting, there's an article Sayyid Ja'far Murtada al-Amili has written on the money that the Imams would give to poets that would recite poetry in their favor. Back then, you didn't have a Twitter account or an Instagram account where you could talk about yourself and represent yourself and so on. Yeah? Back then, the media was poetry. People would sit down at night, not watching NFL, but they would sit down and just recite poetry with each other. See how much they can memorize. That's how it was. That was the thing back then. Yeah? Some of you are cringing, I can tell. Yeah, back then that was the thing. Now watch. 1,000 years from now when we're all still alive, inshallah, people will be like, man, people were on Instagram. What was that all about? Right? That's what it is, you know? Or let me give you another example. Like, back in my day, before I left for Qom and like Hawza and all that, back in our day, like, baggy was the thing. Right? And then you come back like if you wore like other things, you would get beat up in school. But now you come back after like 17, 18 years, you come back, you're like, oh wow, you see people wearing things that if back then they would wear it would get beat up, but now that's the cool thing. 20 years from now, it's going to go back again. Shaitan's got us running in circles. He doesn't have too much to offer because dunya doesn't have too much to offer. The thing is though, we're so like, our heads are, me personally, my head is so down in this dunya that he'll have me running in circles, I won't notice. Mankind is running in circles. I'm serious. Back then, if you wear the glasses some people wear today or the shades some people wear today, you get beat up. Now people are wearing those. You know those big ones, the dorky ones. Back then it was dorky. Now it's like vintage or cool or whatever. I don't know, whatever. We're running in circles. So, how did we get here? We're talking about media back then, important. So those people today that want to do something properly for the cause of Imam Hussein, for the cause of Ahlul Bayt in Islam, hey, if you have some time on your hands, why not use media and social media? Why? Because back then the media was poetry. The Imams would take care of people who would recite poetry for them and introduce them to the people. Even in the Prophet's time, before like a battle would start, poets would get on each side. One poet would start dissing the other side. This side would answer back. The Prophet would have his people answering back. Yeah. Now there's an article written by one of the greatest historians that we have today. May Allah give him health and a long life. Sayyid Ja'far Murtada al-Amili. He says in that he's compiled in there stories of the Imams, how much they would give to these poets. How much? Now think about it. That's the material side of it. Of course, the poets would say, no, I don't want to take it. The Imam would like reach in his pocket and put it in his pocket. No, you take it. Continue what you're doing though. Interesting. Now, if that's the material reward the Imam is giving them, think about the sawab and the other worldly rewards. That's why, man, guys, we gotta step up our game when it comes to reciting poetry for Ahlul Bayt. You gotta have some proper, deep poetry. Even the matam that we do. This is the thing now. You want to be cool in the school of Ahlul Bayt. Figure out what your media, what the media is that you can channel the message of Islam to the people. You don't have to try to make the message sound nice. The message is nice itself. The Imam Ar-Rida said, our message is nice. You don't got to change it or say it in a certain way. Just make it reach the people. Wow, okay, alhamdulillah, the job is easy. Anyway, one of those poets is Farazdaq. Imam Hussein sees him as he's leaving Mecca, as they didn't allow the Imam to perform Hajj because he felt that his blood would be shed one day before the actual rituals of Hajj begin. He has to leave. Yawm al-Tarwiyah, he has to leave. He meets Farazdaq, who's coming towards Mecca for Hajj. He says to Farazdaq, when he sees Farazdaq, Farazdaq says, why are you leaving Hajj so early, O Mawla, O Master? It doesn't make sense. You're here in Mecca, you're leaving before Hajj starts? What is that? The Imams would always perform Hajj. Imam al-Hassan, if I'm not mistaken, 25 times he went barefoot for Hajj from Medina. It's not what you Imams are all about. The Imam says, if I don't, I will be apprehended. And he ends it there. He says, how do the people of Iraq see the circumstances? Because apparently Farazdaq is coming from Iraq for Hajj. How do the people of Iraq see what's going on? Farazdaq says, their hearts are with you, but their swords are against you. Think about that. We have to think about that. Your heart is with somebody, but your sword is drawn against them. What does that mean exactly? How is that possible? You like somebody, but your sword is drawn. Apparently there's another love that you have that might be more than the love you have for Imam Hussein. That's why you draw your sword on him. Yeah? I mean, is there any other way you can justify or explain this? There is no other way. Their hearts are with you, oh Imam. Their hearts are with you. Alright, so I have somebody that I really like a lot, but there's someone else I like more. What do I do if I have to choose between the two? Of course I choose the one that I like more. What if I have to get rid of one of the two? Please choose A or B. Okay? I choose B or A. That means the other one is gone, right? So now apparently they have to choose. So Farazdaq is saying, yeah, they like you. It's not like they dislike you. But apparently they like somebody else more than you. Or something else more than you. Which of course we'll see, inshallah, maybe tomorrow night. What that was. That they like so much. Maybe even tonight, I don't know. He says their hearts are with you, but their swords are against you. All decree is in Allah's hands, and whatever He wishes will be. This is what Farazdaq says to the Imam. The Imam says, Sadaqta wallah wa kullu yawmin huwa fi wa kullu yawmin or kullu yawmin huwa fi sha'n. Yes, what you're saying is right. Everything is in His hands. That's why I'm here even now. I'm supposed to be in Hajj, but I'm here outside of Mecca. Everything is in His hands, as a matter of fact. Yes, you're right. وَكُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. We have a verse in the Quran. It says كُلُّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. Or كُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. Which means every day Allah is busy with something. What is it symbolizing? This symbolizes, it's symbolic, brothers and sisters, that Allah is always busy. Some people think that Allah created the heavens and earth and now He's just sitting on the side. No. He is super involved. How that is philosophically, theologically, how do we explain that? That's another story. That's for the classroom. It's not for a lecture like this. The Quran says, كُلَّ يَوْمٍ or كُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. Allah every day is doing something. He's busy with something. He's involved in everything. The Imam here uses that same verse. Says, yes, you're right. Everything in His hand is in His hands and He is busy taking care of business. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are right. All decree is in Allah's hands. Every day He is engaged in a work. If things go the way we wish and are happy with, we will be grateful for His blessings. Look at that. Some people think that to be very religious, it has to always be hardship. No, that's not the case. The Imam here, he says, if things go the way I would like them to go, Alhamdulillah for His blessings. We will be grateful for His blessings. And He is the one we invoke for us to be able to do justice in thanking Him. Oh Allah, give me tawfiq to do thanking of You for what You've given. Alhamdulillah. And if things fall between us and what we desire, anyone who has pure intentions and taqwa rules his heart can't go wrong, will not go wrong. He doesn't say, okay, either things will go the way we wish, so we're going to thank Allah for that. And if things don't go the way we wish, then still we'll be patient or we'll be thankful still. He says if things get hard, if the going gets hard, if we're stuck, then we have to make sure that we have taqwa. We have to make sure that we are obedient servants of Allah. And whatever happens, we'll know we're on the right side. What does that remind you of? Ali al-Akbar, on the way to Karbala, his father sees a dream and tells his son about this dream. That I see them, the canines are attacking me. Or he says, excuse me, I see that this caravan is moving and someone is calling out that death is following this caravan. Ali al-Akbar says, oh father, are we going to be on the right side or not? Are we going to be with the satisfaction of Allah or not? He says, yeah. He said, okay, then, la nubali bil maut. Who cares about death? Wow. I don't care about death. Why? Because what matters for me is Allah and His satisfaction. It doesn't matter how hard the going gets, how tough it gets. What matters is if you are a person that has taqwa throughout your life, things won't go wrong. If death comes, death is what was right. Lesson for us. Loving the Ahlul Bayt and all that stuff isn't enough. The people of Kufa loved Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It's not hard to love the Imams. You think it's hard to love the Imams? Everyone, right now, come to me after class. I'll give you a link. One of the greatest enemies of the Shia school right now, and he's a Wahhabi cleric. For 2 hours, he recites the Masa'ib of Imam Hussein. Not crying though, because some of these hearts have turned to stone. Or it might be haram and shirk, I don't know. Or all of the above, I don't know. But what is happening is that he's making a point that, hey, don't think Imam Hussein belongs to you. We believe in Hussein. We love Hussein alayhi salam. And may God curse Ubaydullah, they say it. They won't say Yazid, but they'll say Ubaidullah. They'll say Umar ibn Sa'd. So loving, they're also saying we love. That's not enough. Loving, anyone can love. It's not that hard. What's important is the love has to be the most. That's one lesson we take from this. And number two, which is so important because so relevant to us, is that last line of the Imam. That taqwa is the key. Taqwa means being careful of something, being wary of something. You're careful that you're not going to disobey Allah. When He says do something, you do it. He says don't do something, you don't do it. End of story. That's taqwa. Continuing that so you develop a disposition within you that you don't sin, you don't disobey Allah. That's taqwa. The good stuff that comes out of it though, oh my God. Whew. Taqwa is the key to many problems being solved. Sure, the Imam was killed in the end. What's important is to leave this world doing it right, not to get it wrong. The Imam says, if things get tough, I don't care, because I have taqwa. Or he says, those who have taqwa, they can't go wrong. Doesn't matter what happens. Okay, so that's what matters. And this reminds you of Nahjul Balagha. Imam Ali alayhi salam. They're sending Abu Dhar, this great companion and loyal companion of the Prophet and Imam Ali. They're kicking him out of Medina, and he's going to be in exile to some land, some barren land where he eventually dies in. And as he's leaving, Amir al-Mu'minin knows this is hard. It's tough. What does Amir al-Mu'minin say to him? وَلَوْ أَنَّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرَضِينَ كَانَتَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدٍ رَتْقًا ثُمَّ اتَّقَى اللَّهَ لَجَعَلَ اللَّهَ لَهُ مِنْهُمَا مَخْرَجًا. He says that, oh Abu Dhar, you're getting kicked out of Medina. 1. 2. Sending you to somewhere that's barren. You're going to probably die there. It doesn't matter, because if the heavens and the earth and the lands, Aradin, it's more than just earth, were to be closed on someone, but in that situation, that person exhibits taqwa, Allah is going to show him a way out of that situation. Now, a way out of it necessarily doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to become like Prophet Yusuf, who eventually became king. Maybe I'll die. I don't know. A way out necessarily won't be a way that you would desire, maybe, but it'll be the right thing for sure. Here, the Imam is saying the same thing. Even within the in the story of Prophet Yusuf, when she attacked him and she had locked all the doors, what did he do? He didn't just stand there and say, oh, okay, oh Allah, now you know the doors are locked, so he starts running towards her. He ran towards the doors. Locked doors. But I can get away at least this much. Who's the first person to put the key in there and unlock the door and see what's going on? The Aziz of Misr, the king of Misr himself. He wasn't the king, but one of those high-ranking officials of Egypt. He's the first one to witness that this is happening with Prophet Yusuf and his wife. And that his wife is the one that's the culprit. This is the situation. Everything's closed. But he exhibited taqwa. This happens. Of course, he did end up in prison. That was for other reasons. But the point is that the Imam is saying you can't go wrong if you have taqwa in these hard situations. Inshallah, Allah gives us tawfiq to have this taqwa. God knows how taqwa is the key to Jannah. The wajib and haram of Allah, there's a reason why Allah makes it wajib. There's a reason why Allah makes it haram. Some people get so stuck up in certain mustahabbat, certain makruhat, they forget the wajib and haram completely. That is the key to Jannah. Brothers and sisters, I'm just going to relate to you, or try to relate to you what ulama say. Theoretically speaking, I said it 3 times, remember that? Because I don't want people going out and say something else. If a person never does one mustahab in their life, but takes care of all the wajib and haram that Allah wants them to, you tell me, does he not have the key, or she does not have the key to Jannah? Think about it. Mustahab means you can do it. It's better if you do it, but if you don't do it, it's okay. Am I encouraging? No. The fact that we're here right now is one of the greatest mustahabbat. Some of the mustahabbat will help us in the wajibat. There is no way that I'm encouraging this. I'm just speaking theoretically here. Think about it. Allah made it wajib because this plays a major role in my growth. That's why it's wajib. It's so important for you growing and getting close to Allah that He's making it wajib. And vice versa. Haram, same thing. So bad, He makes it haram. Wajib and haram itself shows that this is priority. But some people have confused it. No, we take care of the wajib and haram, so we have taqwa, and then all of these good things will come. These are the things that Ahlul Bayt have taught us. The Quran teaches us. Inshallah, tomorrow night we'll continue with the sayings of Abu Abdullah with some of the people on the way to Karbala outside of Mecca. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. Brothers and sisters, we're getting closer and closer. And as we get closer and closer to this climax of the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, this story that, as I said last night, Imam Hussein was careful to write it in a specific way so it will have the most rewards. It'll have the most worldly and otherworldly. Worldly meaning that it's going to affect us when we hear it the most. He could have let everyone just fight at once and be killed and let it get over with sooner. No. One by one I'm going to send them. So each tragedy happens fully. Each tragedy happens fully. This is the story Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is writing for us. He wants to make sure that we take in as much as we can, because the amount we take in might be like 5% of the real tragedy, brothers and sisters. As we get closer to Ashura, the tragedies we commemorate, the tragedies we speak about get harder and harder. Why do I say that? Because Abu Abdullah's reactions are harder and harder now to those tragedies. One of the greatest tragedies that the angels can weep for forever is the tragedy of Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar, he's so great that Muawiyah, in some accounts, Muawiyah had asked the people around him, who's the most befitting to be Khalifa after me? They said, of course, your son Yazid. He said, be quiet, you kiss-ups, because Ali al-Akbar, you're forgetting about him? Even the enemy acknowledges that this person was something else. I've even read that some kind of feel that maybe Ali al-Akbar could have been Imam after the Imam Hussein. That's how high he is. That's how high he is. The higher the Iman, brothers and sisters, the higher the individual, the harder the tragedy will get. We don't understand the nur of these individuals. Imam Hussein sees the nur of these individuals. Prophet Yaqub is weeping for Yusuf, not because Yusuf is far away necessarily, because he misses his son. They say that he knew the wilayatullah that lies in his son. And he's missing Yusuf not because of just him being his son, but the whole package of Yusuf. The higher the Iman, the higher the level, the higher the tragedy. Abu Abdullah understands this. Just what I said a few minutes ago shows how high this individual is. Ali al-Akbar, he says, إِذَنْ لَا نُبَالِي بِالْمَوْتِ, I don't care about death. If it's going to come to us, if it's following this caravan, let it come, as long as we're on the right path. When Prophet Ibrahim wanted to kill his son, what did his son say? Satajiduni insha'Allahu min as-sabirin. Oh Father, I will try to be forbearing. I'll be patient when this is happening to me. But Ali al-Akbar, he says, إِذَنْ لَا نُبَالِي بِالْمَوْتِ, we don't care about death. Fine. Are you going to be patient or not? It doesn't matter. This is how high this individual is. And if you want to understand how much Imam Hussein really loved Ali al-Akbar, that line that he says once Ali al-Akbar is on the sands of Karbala, he says, "Ala dunya ba'daka al-afa." This world is worth nothing to me after you, O Ali. Now this is the same world that Lady Zainab is still in. Qasim is still in. Ali al-Asghar, Abul Fadl al-Abbas is still in. But the Imam is making a point here that everything in you is in you, Ali. For me. This is how great the tragedy is. Sometimes you feel like Imam Hussein wants to make sure that, oh, people that come after and are weeping for me, I want you to know how much I love this individual. I want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the amount of love that I had for him. But this isn't all that makes the tragedy such a great tragedy, brothers and sisters. Ali al-Akbar also looks like the Prophet. Also acts like the Prophet. His demeanor is like the Prophet. When you look at him, it's as if you're seeing the Prophet of Allah. And you know what's going to kill us now, brothers and sisters, as we weep and as we shed tears for Ali al-Akbar? We're going to weep for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Because if Ali al-Akbar looks like the Prophet, they say the Prophet and Lady Fatima al-Zahra had many similarities. So it's as if when he looks at Ali al-Akbar walking in his tent, it's like he's watching his mother Fatima al-Zahra walk in the tent. If Ali al-Akbar goes, it's as if the Prophet is gone. If Ali al-Akbar goes, it's as if my mother Fatima al-Zahra is gone. Yes. These are the tests Abu Abdullah is going through. Everyone loves Ali al-Akbar. Everyone loves Ali. When you go to Karbala, inshallah, remember this that I'm telling you. Go and see where the Ali al-Akbar fell. They have a monument there in Karbala. You'll see the place where they say they shot Ali al-Asghar. Abu al-Fadl Abbas is buried on that side. All of these places are close by, but then there's one spot far, far away that you have to walk to. And that is where Ali al-Akbar fell from his horse, they say. But why is it that he is so far away from Abu Abdullah's tents? You'll see as we go on. You feel like Imam Hussein has died after Ali al-Akbar has passed away. We need to understand that when Ali al-Akbar falls, Imam Hussein understands that I only have children left like Qasim, and I just have one Abbas. I had two arms, my Ali al-Akbar and my Abbas. Now it's just Abbas. Imam Hussein, who else does he have from Bani Hashim? But some children maybe. So Ali al-Akbar says, "Oh father, can I go after all the companions have been killed? The first person that goes from Bani Hashim is the son of Abu Abdullah. That, oh Abu Abdullah, I'm ready to go." And Abu Abdullah says, "No hesitation, go my son, go." You saw a few nights ago, Lady Zainab sent her children without crying and weeping or anything like that, because it's her own children. Abu Abdullah does the same thing. He says, "Oh Ali, go." He doesn't even hesitate, no weeping. But brothers and sisters, as Ali al-Akbar goes to the battlefield, you sense some desperation in Abu Abdullah because he holds his beard. And he raises his hand to this sky and he says, "Oh Allah, bear witness that I am sending to death. I am sending towards this army أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا برسول الله, the one that is the most similar and resembling of the Prophet, both in appearance and in demeanor. I am sending him." They say Ali al-Akbar goes, fights valiantly, kills many of the enemy, but brothers and sisters, he's human. He comes back to Abu Abdullah to the tents. "Oh father, al-atashu qad qatalani wa thiqlu al-hadid ajhadani." Oh father, the thirst is killing me, and the weight of the armor has taken away all of my energy. His father puts out his tongue, they say on the tongue of Ali al-Akbar, to let him know that Ali, if you're thirsty, that I'm thirstier than you. Go back to the battlefield. It'll be only soon before your grandfather quenches your thirst. Ali al-Akbar goes back to the battlefield. As he is fighting, eventually, they say a sword comes down onto the face or head of Ali al-Akbar. The blood of Ali spills all over the eyes of his horse. Ali al-Akbar is kind of knocked unconscious, they say. As he holds the neck of this horse, the horse understands that its master is in trouble. But instead of making its way back to the tents of Abu Abdullah, this horse goes deeper and deeper into the heart of the enemy. It thinks it's going in the right direction. The blood is covering its eyes. It doesn't know which way it's going. They say the enemy opens a path and lets the horse go as much as it can into the heart of the enemy. And eventually they say a spear is lodged into the heart of Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar on the sands, Ya Abata, alayka minni salam. Oh father, I see the Prophet approaching. Abu Abdullah shoots out towards Ali, but he is too far. فقطعوا بسيوفهم إربان إربان. Abu Abdullah cannot make it in time. They cut him to pieces and pieces. Abu Abdullah makes it to the body of Ali. But what a body, what a body, what a body. There is nobody, there is nobody, this moon, this beautiful son of mine. They have shattered my Ali the same way they killed my mother Fatima. They say the Imam, as he sits by the face of Ali al-Akbar, he puts his face on the cheek of Ali as the enemy cheers and claps and mocks. As time passes, they say we felt that Imam Hussein had died also. Lady Zainab has also come next to the body of Ali, but Abbas is protecting her. Imam Hussein says, "Oh Abbas, take Zainab back to the tents, but tell the youth of Bani Hashim to come and help me to gather my son Ali." Javanane Bani Hashim بیایید علی را بر در خیمه رسانیم. O youth of Bani Hashim, come to me and take back to the tents the pieces of Ali. خدا داند که من طاقت ندارم علی را بر در خیمه رسانم. Allah knows best. I've got no strength to take with me Ali back to the tents. They shattered the mirror reflecting my mother. May God punish them. After Ali is nothing left. They cut Ali to pieces like a mirror shatters, but this mirror was the reflection of Fatima. They shattered the mirror reflecting my mother. May God punish them. After Ali, nothing is left. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. Wa sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayya munqalabin yanqalibun.
O my son, O Ali Akbar. 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 O Ali Akbar. O my son, O Ali Akbar. O my son, O Ali Akbar. O my son, O Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh 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 Ali Akbar. I'm trying to find you, but I have lost my sight. Where are you, oh my son? You're the light of my eyes. I'm looking for you, I'm looking for you. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. 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 Your sister's in the tent, just waiting for some news. Her prayers are with you, and tears are in her eyes. I'm looking for you, I'm searching for you. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh Ali Akbar. My son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. What did they do to you? You're covered in blood, my son. Who has cut your body into pieces, my son? I'm crying for you, I'm crying for you. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. 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 The spear is in your heart, Ali. The spear is in your heart, and tears are in your eyes. How can I take it out? How can I see you die? I've taken out the spear, but you have stopped breathing. Tell me how I can breathe. My heart has stopped beating. I'm crying for you, I'm crying for you. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. 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 Oh my son, oh Ali. Imam Hussein alayhi salam wants to bring the body of Ali Akbar back to the tents. He picks up the chest of Ali Akbar, the legs fall down. He picks up the leg and other parts of the body of Ali Akbar of Hussein falls down. فقطعوه بالسيوف أربا أربا. They cut the body into pieces and pieces and pieces. What can Imam Hussein do? He takes out his abba. He picks up the body one by one. Picks up the pieces of the body of his son. He puts it in the abba and he takes it back. When you say, oh my son, oh Ali Akbar, imagine that moment. He picking up a piece of the body and saying, oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Akbar. Oh my son, oh Ali Akbar. Ali Ali Akbar waladi. 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 Ali Ali everyone waladi. Ali Ali Akbar waladi. Ali Ali Akbar. Ali Ali Akbar waladi. Mirror of Payambar Khuda Hafiz Khuda Hafiz. Mirror of Payambar Asr Khuda. Everyone. Mirror of Payambar Khuda Hafiz. There's a reflection of Hayyadar Khuda Hafiz Khuda Hafiz. My most precious treasure Khuda Hafiz. My Ali Akbar Khuda Hafiz. Everyone answer Khuda Hafiz. Mirror of Payambar Khuda Hafiz Khuda Hafiz. Reflection of Hayyadar Khuda Hafiz Khuda. My most precious treasure Khuda Hafiz. Everyone. My Ali Akbar Khuda Khuda. Your time to live hasn't come, Waladi. My heart is in pieces, Waladi. All the women and the children lined up to bid you a farewell, Waladi. Your time to live hasn't come, Waladi. My heart is in pieces, Waladi. All the women and the children lined up to bid you a farewell, Waladi. Ali Ali Akbar. ولدي علي علي أكبر ولدي علي علي أكبر علي علي أكبر ولدي ولدي رفيج السكينة خدا حافظ. Close that door. رفيج السكينة خدا حافظ. My most precious treasure خدا حافظ. Coming of great Abbas خدا حافظ. Let me die when you pass خدا حافظ. خدا. Curses to the one hiding in wait, waiting to slay my flower Ali. Oh God, may your father never see his flower in this state. Waladi. Curses to the one hiding in wait, waiting to slay my flower Ali. Oh God, my father never seen his flower in this state. Waladi. Ali Ali Akbar. Waladi. ولدي علي علي أكبر ولدي علي علي أكبر ولدي علي علي أكبر علي علي أكبر ولدي جانا ولدي ولدي my beloved youth go خدا everyone. My beloved youth go خدا حافظ. coolness of my eyes go, Khuda Hafiz. This is daddy's death blow, Khuda Hafiz. No life with your sorrow, Khuda Hafiz. Wait, let me see your eyes one more time. Let me look at your face one more time. Stand in front of me, my Ali dear. Let me see my Akbar one more time. Wait, let me see your eyes one more time. Let me look at your face one more time. Stand in front of me, my Ali dear. Let me see my Akbar one more time. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. MashaAllah. Waladi, Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar. Waladi, love of the Medina is Khuda Hafiz. I love of the Medina is Khuda Hafiz. When the Rasul's right, Khuda Hafiz. Love of the Medina is Khuda Hafiz. Love of the Medina is Khuda Hafiz. When they hear Rasul's side, Khuda Hafiz. My support in old age, Khuda Hafiz, is to die in this fight, Khuda Hafiz. I would have loved to see you wed, hold your children and lay them in bed. Now I'm going to bury my wish, soon even your father will be dead. I would have loved to see you wed, hold your children and lay them in bed. Now I'm going to bury my wish, soon even your father will be dead. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Waladi. Ali, Ali, Akbar, Ali, Ali, Akbar. Thar Allah, Thar Allah, Hussein is the rising sword of God. Thar Allah, Thar Allah, Hussein is the rising sword of God. Thar Allah, Thar Allah, Hussein is the rising sword of God. Thar Allah. I can hear you, brothers. Thar Allah, Hussein is the Thar Allah, Hussein. Karbala is on our minds. Let us see what we can find. Karbala is on our mind. Let us see what we can find from the lives of Hussein's men who wrote the truth with a bloody pen. Karbala is on our minds. Let us see what we can find of the lives of Hussein's men who wrote the truth with a bloody pen. Thar Allah, Hussein is the rising. Thar Allah, Hussein is. Thar Allah, Thar Allah. All the three was able to see, all the three was able to see the clarity of the Imam's plea. He switched his side and changed the tide, rushed to his death with battle pride. All the three was able to see the clarity of the Imam's plea. He switched his side and changed the tide. He rushed to his death with battle pride. Thar Allah, Hussein is the rising sword of God. Thought Allah. Hussein is the rising. Thought Allah. There's Habib wishing to be the first cut down by the enemy. His loyalty was completely for the son of Imam Ali. There's Habib wishing to be the first cut down by the enemy. His loyalty was completely for the son of Imam Ali. Thought Allah. Hussein is Thought Allah. Thought Allah. And of Abbas, what can we say? And of Abbas, what can we say? Of Abbas, what can we say? Look at his body at the end of the day, bloodied and cleaved. Now we perceive the faith of a soldier who truly believed. Of Abbas, what can we say? Look at his body at the end of the day, bloodied and cleaved. And now we perceive the faith of a soldier who truly believed. Thought Allah. Hussein is Thought Allah. Thought Allah. In our heart there lies a scar carved in by Ali Akbar. In our hearts there lies a scar carved in by Ali Akbar. Young indeed, but there was the need for the wrath of a lion heart. Karbala is on our minds. Let us see what we can find from the life Hussein's men who wrote the truth with a bloody pen. Thought Allah. Thought Allah. Thought Allah. Thought Allah. Hussein. Ya Mahdi, hadrikni. Ya Mahdi. Ya Mahdi. Ya Mahdi. Ya Mahdi. Save this world from tyranny and liberate Islam's fate from the yoke of those who hate. Ya Mahdi. Ya Mahdi. Ya Mahdi, adrikni. Save this world from tyranny, liberate Islam's fate from the yoke of those who hate. Thought Allah. Hussein is the Thought Allah. Thought Allah. Hussein. Thought Allah. Hussein is the right. Thought Allah. Hussein, why, Hussein, why, Hussein, why? I can't hear you, brothers. Hussein, why, Hussein, why,
يا زهرة ما ننسى حسينا. Brothers and sisters, make your promise to be with Fatima al-Zahra. You'll never leave Imam Hussein. عبد الله يا زهرة ما ننسى حسينا. 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 عبد الله يا زهرة عبد الله ما ننسى حسينا. عبد الله يا زهرة ما ننسى حسينا. عبد الله ما عبد الله لا إله إلا الله. Brothers, nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. علي ولي الله. علي ولي الله. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب. تجد هون ملك في نوائب. كل هم وغم سينجلي. كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك بعظمتك بنبوتك 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 بولايتك. علي صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا سيد الوصيل. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين بن علي بن أبي طالب رحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي باقر علم النبي. السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الصادق البار. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي أيها الجواد التقي. السلام عليك يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا بقية الله في أرضه. آجرك الله يا مولاي، آجرك الله، وعجل الله تعالى فرجك، وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك، وجعلنا من خير أعوانك وانصارك والمستشهدين بين يديك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإلى الأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.